Good evening once again, and it's nice to be back. My name is Busola Shogbamimu. I'm the host of Naija Seniors. I'm an elderly inclusion advocate, and indeed, it has been a while, but we are excited to be back. And today, I am honored to bring to the table the Ishk Tolaram Foundation in Nigeria because a lot of people, we're talking Naija seniors here, and we're talking lifestyle, we're talking the transition, we're talking the legacies. And a lot of people don't pay attention to certain aspects of our healthcare until it happens. So, listening, hearing, very important. How does Ishk Tolaram Foundation, how have they been impacting our community, our elderly people in this area? This is what we're going to find out today. Do you have problems with family members having difficulty hearing? Do they have problems like, communicating and engaging in society because they're not hearing properly? How can we bring the solution to this? Because it can be difficult. Imagine you're talking to somebody, you're asking them what's their name, and they're telling you what the weather is, or totally unrelated. And that's where hearing comes in. The same way every aspect of our body is important, hearing loss is a big thing. And if we can avoid it, or when it has happened, how can we help ourselves to still be able to integrate in society? That's where we have that's why we are here today. So welcome Neha Mira and
Fire.
Kafaya, yes, from Ishk Tolaram Foundation. Thank you. Neha, can you tell us a little bit about what your foundation, what they do here in Nigeria?
Thank you, Busola. So, Ishk Tolaram Foundation is a philanthropic organization which is dedicated to provide access to quality education, healthcare, and skills training to underserved individuals in three geographies, that is Nigeria, Singapore, and Indonesia. In Nigeria, we heavily focus on healthcare and skills training. So, the purpose of the foundation is to enable the individuals to improve their quality of life. And as we are here to talk about Ishq Hearing Center, it is a program that was launched by the foundation that aims to address hearing loss and impairment by providing access to quality and highly subsidized hearing aids and testing and consultation with audiologists to improve hearing for underserved individuals in need. So this also includes addressing the needs of seniors and elderly in Lagos.
Are you only in Lagos at the moment?
So with the Hearing Center program, yes, we are only in Lagos, but the other initiative of Ishk Tolaram Foundation under healthcare, which is provision of prosthetic limbs, which comes under Ishk Limb Center, is across Nigeria.
Right. And honestly speaking, when opportunities are there, people are offering us something to help us improve the quality of life that we can get. Why not take it? I'm speaking to those of you in Lagos now, particularly it might get to other places given time. But if you know there's a need in the family, you have an elderly person that is suffering from here. It's not comfortable. It's not, if you're the family member living with them, you find yourself repeating, and sometimes it comes across as if you're shouting at them. You don't want to, but that's the reality of the situation. So we still we have Kafayat. I got it right. Rafayat is the audiologist at the East Caring Center. What's your normal day like? Let me start with that.
Yes, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, being the audiologist at Ishk Tolaram Foundation, I usually consult on given days. What I do is we do hearing evaluation. With the hearing evaluation, we'll be able to determine the hearing threshold of our patient. Then we'll be able to advise and select appropriate hearing aid that will help them function better in the society.
So you're a specialist in this regard, so we will lean on you a bit. Why is hearing loss so common in the elderly?
Yes, hearing loss is common in the elderly because it's related to aging. We believe that as we are aging, most organs of our body ages with us. So hearing loss happens as a result of change in the inner ear structure of most elderly. And also, some of them have other conditions that can um, cause hearing loss. Maybe some have other conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and sometimes they might have gone through some procedures that they would have used medication that can cause hearing impairment.
Wow.
But basically, we cannot really say that this is why we have presbyacousis as old age-related hearing loss. But
Right.
we believe that it's aging process that
Right.
happens to the hearing organ too. Thank you.
Are there, thank you very much. Are there any like early signs that one can look out for to say, "Hmm, it's coming, let me address it"?
Hearing loss, unlike visual impairment, may not be noticeable on time, but most cases, when an individual realize that, like when you are listening to news, you start tuning volume higher than expected, definitely something is wrong. And also, when you start missing words, like when I say brush, the person heard church. So definitely something is wrong. So when such situation occurs, then the person is due to do hearing evaluation. So in the course of doing hearing evaluation, we will be able to know the degree of the loss.
Yeah. And if it's not tackled on time, is it something that becomes so degenerate that they may lose it for life?
Yes, I would say they will lose their hearing for life. Hearing impairment actually gets worsened, but the rate of degeneration differs from individual to individual.
Right. What could be the
Right?
factors that would make the difference then?
Like one of the factors that can make the degeneration faster is, when you know the cost of a condition, it will be easier for you to manage it. Do you understand? Sometimes, so it depends on the cost, but for the elderly, it is
Yeah.
better they address it on time. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because the hearing aid would help to reduce the straining of one's
Right.
ear to hearing. So
Right.
once you don't strain your ears much, it is believed that the degenerating rate would be controlled to some
Yeah.
extent.
Right. Okay. Can lifestyle changes or dietary habits prevent or slow down hearing loss?
It is believed, like those who usually, other things that can contribute to hearing loss are exposure to loud noise. So those who, if you already have, um, I mean, you already have hearing loss, and you still engage yourself in those things that can increase your risk of hearing impairment, definitely it will get
Right.
more degenerated. But there are some other lifestyles that can help in reducing the risk. Like the research has shown that regular exercise, like walking or cycling, ensure better blood flow to all parts of the body. So
Right.
it
Okay.
will help the nerves and head. It will help nerves, and then there are some um, supplements that can help in managing those conditions. But it's not a guarantee that it will uh, arrest it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So just
And,
supplements and aids in
and,
it. Right.
Oh
and
yeah. Okay.
so
Okay.
to add to what Kafai is saying is that also a balanced diet, which is rich in vitamins and minerals, is also important and can really prevent or slow down the hearing loss. So you
Right.
can find these vitamins in bananas, oranges, spinach, and broccoli, and maybe some mushrooms and potatoes. So, and these vegetables which are commonly available in the market. So,
Mm.
the intake of these vegetables actually helps the cell walls of the inner ear, and they protect them. They provide a protective layer. So it's important to have, while you exercise, it's also good to have a balanced diet. which can help prevent the hearing loss. And also, there could be some other things that people can take care of. So, for example, if they're working in a noisy environment, they can use some ear muffs or some ear plugs to protect the loud sound entering into their ears, and also to keep their ears dry. So, if they are like swimming or if they're doing any activity which involves water, make
Yeah.
sure you actually dry up your ears.
Right.
And then also be very careful of the medication that people are taking. So the toxic medications can also spoil the hearing power. So it's very important to take these tips along with a good exercise routine and a good diet.
It's amazing. Do you know what we eat goes a long way in they say your food is your medicine, do you know? And oftentimes we don't pay so much attention to that. And here in Nigeria, we're talking Naija Seniors, we're talking lifestyle. Oh, I'm there on Sunday, Saturday, call it, we're there. So it's important
Yes, running.
for our elderly people to know, even when it's going to church or going to the mosque, or if you're going to be in an environment where the music is going to be blaring, stay away from there. Just move behind. Find
Obviously,
somewhere where it's not coming directly. And that's why we have the professionals here to tell us how we can look after ourselves in our old age. And the message is not just for our elderly people, it is for caregivers, it is for family members, so they can know how best to take care of ourselves. We want to live long. We want to rock Nigeria, basically. So thank you, Neha. Now, welcome, one. So
I,
this is my
I'm I apologize for just joining. I was running on a different continent time. So I had UK 4 p.m. in mind.
We forgive you this time.
Thank you. Thank you. Much needed.
So, can you introduce yourself, please, before we
Where do
continue?
I start? Okay. My name is Wonuola Akintola. I work in the UK as a child and adolescent psychiatrist and also teach on emotional well-being for all age groups, really. So that's my passion, mental health and emotional well-being. Yeah.
sorry.
And all things that affect it.
Thank you so much, Wonu. Thank you, and thank you for joining us as well. Still, we have been talking about hearing loss, hearing aid, and the impact on the life of a senior in Nigeria. How can we avoid losing our hearing? What are the things we can do? And now, so I'm going to come back to you again, Neha. Now, since the foundation started, how easy has it been for you to get the message across? That this is what we do. The opportunity is there for people to come, have themselves tested, and get out. I mean, avail themselves of devices that can support their lifestyle. How easy has the message been getting across the country?
Thank you for your question, Busola. So this program started last year in January 2024. And since then, we have been really trying to create awareness about hearing loss and how to address this need amongst the people in Nigeria. So we have various means of communicating with people, and which has been really successful in terms of getting the message out there. So we have our social media handles, of course, and we do a lot of awareness creation through the channels. And we have flyers which we distribute in communities, in churches, in mosques, where we know we can find the right kind of people. This year, we are also planning to go into communities to work with some local governments and get right there, because these people really don't know actually about hearing loss and if this can be addressed. So what our team is trying to do is get into those communities, do hearing testing for them, and provide them with hearing devices which can really amplify their hearing power and make their quality of life better. Then we also engage with our network. So we are joined with some of the forums through which we actually communicate our messages in a best possible way, because you never know, you may not need it, but somebody known to you may need it. So we get a lot of patients through reference also. And the thing is that when we are committed to give a quality service and we have a good follow-up structure in place, people do believe in our work, and they know the seriousness of the work. They trust us. So when they trust us and they have a good experience with us, they refer more people. And the
Absolutely.
best part of this program is that this is highly subsidized program. So I would say if you just take the device cost, only 20% is paid by the beneficiary. 80% of the cost is being covered by the foundation. So this is something which really becomes very accessible and affordable by the people in underserved communities. In fact, one of our device, which is a pocket hearing device, it comes absolutely free of cost. So we are really keen to actually create that kind of awareness and then getting in touch with organization like yours. I mean, Mass Care is doing so much for the elderly people. So this gives us a platform to spread the word out there. When we get in touch with you, you get in touch with your own network and you help us
Yeah.
spread the word. So
Yeah.
it really helps us. So currently we are in Lagos. We have a center at RDE. But yes, as the program grows, we are planning to make it more mobile and have other centers across Nigeria.
Honestly, you
I was
will
just
not. You go on, you go first.
as Niha was talking, I was just thinking about the International Women's Day, accelerating action, because that's
Yeah,
the thing. Yeah. So thank you. I mean, the keywords you mentioned, awareness, amplifying the awareness, and also accessibility. And I think it's really commendable. 20, just 20% being paid by the beneficiary. That's indeed highly subsidized. So what you're doing now is actually first starting with getting the community's hearing problem sorted, as in with the awareness, making them hear so they
yeah.
can help the needs of
Yeah.
the elder senior citizens. Thank you.
And also to mention that we are also in touch with general hospitals so across. So we are trying to have them on board with us. So many of them are actually, and they do refer patients to us. There are other organizations also, teaching universities also, who are referring patients to us. So I think gradually it will pick up, and more people will get to know about this program and what we are offering. And I'm sure we will be known to many in the period of time. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neha. Honestly, I am excited about this opportunity because about 3 years ago, when I met one of our residents, and I realized that this man can't hear. So um, you would have to put your mouth close to his, I think it's his right. Which one is this? It's his left ear. Yeah. So you'll have to put your mouth close to his left ear and then say it softly. And then sometimes you see him when they're playing music in the background. He's just sitting there and like, and then I'm wondering, can he really hear? But he's just gotten into the habit of just dancing away when he sees everybody doing just, going on with his own life. But I know that if somebody that can't hear music and is nodding his head, what if he can hear it? It's going to just improve his quality of life. So it makes me excited to know because at that time I was looking to get hearing aid for him. But because out of ignorance, I did not. I bought one off the shelf, wasn't tested or anything, and apparently wasn't even working. So it was bought and discarded at the end of the day. So to know that there's an opportunity for our senior citizens to avail of this, it's exciting. Honestly, since our first meeting, when I let me get to know what you guys do, I have been excited about what you do, and I cannot thank you enough for bringing this initiative to us in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Um,
Thank you.
we're not finished yet.
No.
So I think I have a few more questions for Kafaya. Let me just see here, because I have some questions I said I'm going to check with you. So we want to talk about the hearing aids themselves. Like, we have different categories, and well, one will have to do the testing before you know what's best for what. Can you tell us a little bit about the differences there?
Okay, okay. Well, if I understand your question, you want to know different types of hearing aid or different types of hearing loss.
Hearing
Anyway,
aids.
the common hearing aids, okay. Yes, there are different styles of hearing aids aside from brand. So when I say styles, that means the position where the hearing aids are, as in where they are placed in the ear or outside the ear. So we have behind the ear, we have in the ear, we have receiver in canal. We also have open fit hearing aid. So behind the ear, at Ishk Tolaram Foundation, we have all the styles available. Behind the ear is the type that the every part of the hearing aid, that the amplifier and the receiver, is in the gadget, and it will be behind the patient's ear.
Yeah.
The receiver in canal is like mini behind the ear. It's smaller than behind the ear. So it's smaller, and then the receiver goes into the canal. This receiver is tinier. While behind the ear, what goes into the canal in behind the ear is the tube, or you have the mold in the ear. Then we also have CIC completely in the canal. Completely in the canal is smaller than in the ear. In the ear, so what I'm trying to say is hearing aid now usually goes into the ear that does not have any extension of
Right.
three types. We have invisible in the canal. We have completely in the canal. We have in the ear. So invisible in the canal is the smallest, followed by CIC, completely in the canal, then ITE in the ear. All those ones usually are insertable,
Okay.
so they do not have any extension. Unlike behind the ear, the hearing aid will be behind the pinna, and other parts go into the canal.
I
But
think
they
I've seen
all
that.
serve same purpose. Do you
Right.
understand? Depends on the level of hearing impairment. So it's not everybody that can use custom hair, that the one that will be inside the hair. So
Yeah.
if hearing impairment so is worse, like when you have high degree of loss, so such person may not have opportunity to choose, but to just
Right.
use behind the ear.
Okay.
Yes, that's just it. So we
Wow.
also have body perfect aid. That's
Mm,
the ancient one that this is ancient anyway. Those most senior citizen prefers it to others
mm.
because they will just put it in their pocket, and the cord will just go into their hair, and they are good to go.
Thank
So,
you very much
and
for.
have I answered your question?
Yes, you have. Yes, I
You're
wanted to know the
welcome.
different types. Yes, thank you so much. Now this is a question I think we all have
Okay.
to deliberate on, because I find some elderly people, and it's something that I've mentioned before when we did the book launch last year. Some elderly people feel ashamed to wear gadgets. When it comes to devices, they think they're still young. Tell them you need this walking stick. They say, no, I will walk by myself, but you will fall. So it's important for them to know. And I do say that if you need a pacemaker, it is what you need. You need a pacemaker, you need a pacemaker. It's going to be inserted and your life continues. So it does not matter what device it is. Some people feel ashamed when it comes to wearing diapers. You need it. So rather than, embarrassing yourself with incontinence, a diaper is what's needed, wear it. So I want to, how can we encourage elderly people when it comes to using hearing aids? Some people may be, leave me alone,
I'm
but
not
we
deaf.
know, yes, exactly. So meanwhile, they ask you good morning, you say it's tomorrow. So, yeah, how can we encourage the use of devices? I mean, for elderly people when they need it.
And that's where counseling comes in. So, though it's going to take a while before you can convince the elderly, but professionally, we have a way of uh, how would I put it? We pet them and make them understand that it's not as see you don't see this as a gadget. Just see it as a kind of part of your dressing these days. Do you understand? Like it will help you. You will not be straining your ears. We see anytime you dress up, let this be part of your dressing.
Mm.
So once you start seeing it as part of your dressing, what you need to use, then it's not going to be a problem any longer. Though it's going to take a while before you can be able to convince them in most cases, because nobody wants to grow old.
Yeah.
And every
You
time
might
they'll
grow
tell
in
you,
oats.
I'm here. So we used to like pamper them. That's the word I will use. You
Mm,
pamper them and let them realize that we know you can hear, but we want you to hear better. Do you
better.
understand? So by the
Yes.
time it's yes, yeah, like because that's the first thing. Like keep telling them, they can hear, but we want you to hear better so that your communication will be better than what it has become. So
Yeah.
once they see the beauty, yes, once they see the
Right.
beauty of it,
Mm,
then they will get adjust. They will adjust
mm,
automatically. So
yeah. So
it's not easy.
Sorry.
it's counseling. It's counseling
It's
all the way.
easy convincing them. Then you just have to counsel. We counsel and we counsel and we counsel. Yes.
Mm. But
So
do you have anything to
then
say on that?
I think
yes,
it's
sorry.
the same thing
Okay.
applicable to all of us. Sometimes we know what we need, but we don't want to do it. It's like knowing I should eat better or my diet
Mhm.
should be better, but then I'm not making those choices. Or I know I should exercise regularly and I don't do it. So it takes a shift of mindset, which the ladies actually nicely explained in terms of you would have to go over and over again, because any new belief system or for any new process to become established, to become a belief, you have to repeat it over and over again. But one more thing I will add is for each person, the why might be different. Why they don't want the hearing aid. For some people, it might be because, oh, actually, when my mother started using hearing aids, I saw things going downhill and she died after. So they might associate it with a decline in their quality of life. So for each person, it may be different. For another person, if the person is a fashionista and just likes looking trendy, it may be, oh my goodness, you're spoiling my image. So because you have elderly people who will still be very, very
Trendy.
mindful about their appearance. So if we don't find the root cause for each person, we may be giving the wrong intervention and we may be persuading endlessly. And they may consent and carry on with it, but they're unhappy with it. What the preference will be for them to consent happily, and they're the ones who will be saying, where's my hearing aid? And the only way that we would get that is if we can. I mean, one key thing you said as well is validating their feelings. So you say, okay, we know you can hear, but it could be better. So
Yeah.
exploring with them, what are the benefits? So it's the same thing, but just looking at for each person, what's the why that's causing the resistance, and then
Yes.
helping them to make that mind shift.
Thank you, Wonu. That's
I
very
hope
that's
that.
very Neha, you have your let's hear you.
Yeah, no, rightly said, as Kafayat has said and Nola has said, like every person has their own different why, and it's like a repeated counseling that is required. In our own experience, we've also seen that some of the elderly people may find it uncomfortable, that they have to plug something in their body, it must be like causing them discomfort, or they may be worried about how to maintain it, how to make it function. So there can be many whys to it. For some people, like some of our previous patients were like, we don't want to use it because then it becomes very obvious that we are having a hearing loss. So we
Yeah.
try to counsel them. So it's not about the appearance, it's about the functionality. Because the moment anybody starts talking to you, in 1 or 2 minutes, they will eventually come to know that you are having a hearing loss. So it's better to have a device which enhances your hearing power,
Mm,
then you can be more confident and you can communicate better and you can be more socially linked with the people, because people who are having hearing loss, they start seeing that they have cognitive problems, they start dissociating themselves from social gatherings, and they feel a little embarrassed about going because people are maybe not giving that much attention to them, they're not that patient. So it's very important to see what is the utility of the hearing device. So as Kafayat said, a repeated counseling needs to be done. And
Yeah.
when they see that, yeah, this is something which is enhancing their hearing power, actually something worth trying a chance.
Thank you
I
very
would
much,
say
Neha.
I was going to say, if I get to a point where I need hearing aids, I don't want the one that goes in my ears because I can't even use AirPods.
Oh,
They're
okay.
uncomfortable. So
You have
that's, I mean,
sensitive ears.
yeah,
Anyway, okay, sorry, like I used to tell my patient that your hearing impairment used to be more obvious than hearing aid. Like if you use
mm,
hearing aid and you're able to hear what people are saying, they may not even notice the hearing aid on
Hearing
ear.
aids, exactly.
Yes,
absolutely.
it is only when they are talking to you and you're saying something else, that's when they will like, oh, do you
It's not here.
insert anything in your hair? So that is my terminology that come, sir, ma, your hearing impairment is more obvious than your hearing aid. Like if you are using hearing aid and you are able to hear what people are saying, nobody will look at your, as in, will notice you are wearing anything. You
Mm,
know, what they are after is you communicating with them. So that's just it.
And I need to say that Kafayat just gave us the tagline, the topic for this session. Your hearing impairment is more obvious than your hearing aid.
Obvious.
And that's
Yeah.
that's the topic for
like
it.
that.
So that
Yeah.
people can connect immediately to know that I need this help and this is where I can get it from. Now, honestly, I say thank you to everyone. It's been enlightening, and we're looking forward to coming over to the center. We're hoping to come next week by God's grace. Come over with our residents that have hearing impairment because we can't wait to get this done. I am looking forward to better quality of life. And just like Bono said, and you all agreed, when it comes to counseling, it takes us back to person-centered care. You
Mm,
know, what does the client need? Yeah, and how can we meet that need according to what they need exactly? So it's about
mm.
their own personal why. So thank you once again. It's nice to have you on Naija Seniors, where we talk about transition, lifestyle, and the legacies of the Naija Seniors. Thank you very much, Neha. Thank you for Kafaya. Thank you, Wanu. And honestly, thank you so much for everything. God bless.
Thank you,
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
everyone.
Thank you.